Most people who would meet me for the first time would never have any clue about the life that I've come from and the things that I've overcome. If I can overcome the circumstances that I've been in, anyone can become an overcomer. So I am a speaker, and I speak about my experiences that I've had, but I really put it in terms of the business and what people are going through in business. The truth of the matter is you don't check your emotions at the door. That's a misnomer. We don't do that. We're human beings. And I've never had an audience walk away and tell me that they didn't leave with joy or a smile or some nugget to chew on. I usually talk on the topics of women in leadership, executive presence, creativity and innovation, talent development. People ask me to do inspirational or motivational type speaking engagements. So I've run the gamut. I've gone all the way from completely business and professional in my area of expertise around talent development, all the way to just more of a personal type of speaking engagement where people need to be inspired and they need to be set free. More often than not, I find that women in particular who are very successful usually have some kind of background that is riddled with excruciating pain or some kind of overwhelming challenge that they had to face in order to just survive. And I'm one of those women. I had a very troubled childhood. For a number of reasons, I ended up in the foster care system, and it was a failed system. At age 17, I hitchhiked to a completely different state and started my life all over. The problem was I had not worked out all of the scruples that I was going through, and I ran right into a relationship that was very detrimental to my mental and my physical health. I got married to someone who loved drugs more than they loved me, and it led to a very tumultuous 9-year relationship. About halfway through that relationship, I realized that if I was going to survive and be able to take care of my children, that I was going to have to put myself through school. So I worked and carried my 2 children everywhere I could go, and I went to college. Against all odds, I was able to successfully get my undergraduate degree. So I woke up one day and found myself as a true single parent struggling. It was hard to go through that change, but I figured out how to overcome that. I learned how to use the gifts and the talents that I have. I basically remodeled my own talent. I had finally gotten out of the wilderness into what I would call a valley, a place where my children and I could have a good life. We were content, everything was going well, but then something deeper was calling me, and I went to Iraq. When I got there, it was made very clear to me that I wasn't welcome there as a woman, that I should be home taking care of my children and just doing something more domestic. And that didn't set well with me. I was one of 16 females on my base, and the first 30 days were the hardest of my life. And I was facing severe opposition from a male-dominated environment that didn't really have any rules or regulations. And so I really had to learn how to stand up on my own and understand how to tell fear to shut up and to call forth courage so that I could survive. I'll just say that when I came back, I was a completely different person. My brain was wired differently. I thought differently. Things that weren't as important before became more important, and the things that seemed to be important before became less important. I got laser focused on what it was I was supposed to be doing, and I was really put here to help people to break free from these invisible barriers that we create around our own lives so that we can't be effective in our mission and the role that we're called to do. When I look out at an audience, I see talent. My position is that every person is talent. Every person has talent. And my mission is to help them to get away from the things that are binding them up and keeping them prisoner. And I teach people also how to show up with executive presence. That it does take executive presence to get your message heard so that you can be seen, heard, valued, and celebrated. I also work directly with organizations, and I help them with their talent development, their leadership development, creating a transformed culture. That is really rewarding work for me when I help people to be able to upgrade what their business is doing so that they can live their role and mission as well. I've been speaking to audiences large and small for almost 20 years. They are progressively getting bigger, so I know that my message and my speaking engagements are getting out there to the masses, and I'm very appreciative of that. Now, I'll just say that I do value the one-on-one relationship. It's very personal and intimate, but to be able to reach the masses with an important message and watch the light bulbs turn on and the wheels turning when they hear the experiences that I've had and how they can view a situation differently, it's just so powerful. What do people say about me when they hear me speak? Well, probably the number one thing that they say is that I'm authentic and I'm genuine and real. I've had people to tell me that I'm funny, that I tell good jokes, that I'm able to take real life situations, even the smallest situation, and turn it into a lesson. Because of the personal background I have, I've really learned to meet people where they're at. And I've been told over and over that it's not cool to be a jack of all trades or a Jane of all trades and to be able to cover it all. But I've just learned in my life that you have to be willing and you have to be adaptable. And when you're willing and adaptable and you're a lifelong learner, then you can go anywhere and you can learn about any topic. And that's really what I've sought to do in order to reach the largest number of people. It's not me doing it. I know that there's a force that works through me that reaches those people and touches them in a place that they've never really tapped into, or maybe something that they've put on the back burner before, but it brings it to the forefront and they can walk out and really remodel their talent and change the way that they are showing up in life. And that's ultimately what it's all about.